is it really worth it with FFP Productions is actually inside the Ring of Fire here in Riyadh. We'd just like to take this opportunity to thank all of our sponsors, Semilong Services, S&D Paving, Spartan Property Services, LJT Motors and FFP Productions. Thank you very much, and we look forward to be staying with you in the future for as long as it takes. Thank you. Hello, we're here this evening at a mega fight warm-up. Public workouts. We're here with Radio Rahim.
Yes, in Saudi, in Riyadh, for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Finally, we've waited so long and the day is here. We're just a few hours away, a few days from really finding out who the best and most dangerous man in the world is. I can't wait for this man to be crowned, whomever he is.
It's been a long time coming. Who are you going for?
I'm going really, and this is going to sound a little bit corny, but the truth is, man, I think the winners really will be the boxing fans and the world community at large in sports, because we haven't had an undisputed crowned heavyweight champion in 25 years, quarter century. Some of these kids covering the fight have never seen it themselves. So it's a special time. And really, whoever wins deserves the win. That's all I hope for, that they deserve the win, and that we can all celebrate having a new king.
Definitely. How do you see the fight going, Raheem?
I think it's going to be a very technical fight. I know that these guys are big guys. They're brawlers if they want to be, but they're both so good. They have great footwork. I think the fact that Fury has taken the weight down, or at least if the weight isn't lower, he's slimmer, right? So he intends to move quite a bit. We know that he's quick with the jab, and that Usyk has some really interesting angles he can take. So this is going to be a technical fight of big men, which we don't get to see that often.
Definitely. But there's been a few times in Tyson's career when he's come in light and he hasn't really performed the way Tyson normally can perform, and we know he can perform. Do you think that's going to affect the fight at all?
I think Tyson's one of these guys that does kind of get up for an opponent, and he knows how big a stage this is. And no matter what he tells you, he cares about being undisputed. No matter what he says, he's even admitted that he doesn't want Usyk to just run through all the British fighters and become the undisputed champion through him. So it's important for him to win, and I think he's coming in with the mindset that he'll do whatever it takes to kick that crown out of that ring.
He's very much proclaiming he's going to be the Brit to beat this guy.
That's right.
Do you agree with that?
I agree that he believes it, and if he believes it, it's going to make for a hell of a fight, because I don't think Usyk is going to go away with anything less than an absolute flawless performance from Fury.
But Usyk's always found a way to win, Raheem. You know, whatever happens in any of his fights, he's found a way to win. Do you think he can find a way with Tyson if we get 100% Tyson?
Of course he can, but Fury's also always found a way to win. He's got the one draw that most people thought he should have won that fight as well. So both of these guys have found a way to win, which is what the beauty of an undisputed clash with undefeated fighters is. I mean, really, I don't want to oversell it, but I don't think it's possible to oversell, because you don't get a moment like this in boxing. It's undefeated, undisputed, heavyweight championships, and we're in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on the biggest stage any of us have really ever seen consistently. It doesn't get better than that.
Lennox was the last one. Can you see Lennox handing over the belts?
Handing over the belts, being the guy to actually, yeah. I think they have to, right?
That's got to be a given.
You've got to pass the throne on to the new king.
It's got to be a
for
given.
Sure. And it's interesting, because what we are talking about now is what kind of fight it's going to be. And if it does go to cards, which I will say this, I don't think we're going to see a knockout. I think it will go to cards. It's going to be a hell of a battle. The difference in this fight is that we will have, for the first time, this is breaking on your network first, a punch count system, a stat system that has never been seen before. It'll be generated by AI. It's not like eyeballing humans. The ability for us to count every punch, to know what's landed, not only cleanly, but the quality of the shot, the impact of the shot. For the first time ever for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship, Jabber is the company that will be providing the stats on TNT live in the UK. We've got 6 pages of analytics where you can see pressure and aggression. You can see thrown punches, quality of shots, combination punching. You have really a book after the fight of what's happened. You can read the fight for the first time, and it's actually over 99% accurate, something we've never had before in the sport. It's the first scoreboard of boxing, and it's happening for the Undisputed.
So similar to the old Olympic scoring, but you've got AI looking at it.
It's not similar to anything we've seen before. Like if you talk about the old Olympic scoring, you're talking about a horse-driven carriage. This is a Learjet. You remember when boxing went from radio to television? Well, now it's going from television to tech. It's that huge elite. We will now know with a surety there can be no corruption, there can be no human error, there's no clicking of buttons. All 4 cameras will be sent to an AI brain that watches the fight 360 in real time and is not only able to count punches, but able to make an entire 6 pages of analytics about what's happened in the ring, the distance between the fighters, who's closing it, who's widening the gap, who's throwing the most combination punches, who's throwing the first punch and the last punch when they engage. So many metrics that you could really, and I don't mean this as hyperbole, you really could, without watching the fight, look at these analytics and statistics and have a great idea of the flow of the fight and exactly what happened in the ring.
So all of the statistics and information, is that being relayed to the judges immediately before the end of every round, at the end of every round?
It's being relayed to the broadcasters. The judges are not involved yet. Hopefully that'll happen one day. But right now, the fans will have an opportunity to see it. The broadcasters will have an opportunity to look at it and talk about it on the broadcast. And post-fight, everything will be available completely public. So really, you now as a fan can look at the facts and weigh those against whatever the judges have to say. We're no longer dependent on a subjective opinion. We can see with facts what actually happened, and hopefully the judges get it right.
So we could still be victims of human error.
Because humans are still judging the fight. But what we can't be is debating what the facts are. Well, for the first time, it's like this. Imagine if you were watching a football match, and at the end of the match, 3 judges has had to decide which team played harder, but nobody was counting goals. We're finally scoring the fight. We've got a scoreboard now. We know who scored the most goals, and every fan and every commentator and every judge has the opportunity to look at that. And based on that, you really can determine who won the round. The official scorecards will still be the official scorecards, but the truth will be there for all to see.
And can you see this being implemented into boxing?
It's being implemented on Saturday night. Like, hopefully officially is what I think you're asking.
Yeah.
Yes, it's up to the official commissions and those of us who, care about the sport to push for a new and better version of boxing scoring. But I think Saturday night will be the first step in that direction, in the sense that we want the truth, we want the right outcome, and we want it to be fact-based. And Jabber has provided a system to do that. So let's get it on, man.
What a system. What an amazing system. Where did this come from? Who brought this?
So Jabber is a company that originated in Denmark. There's a team of engineers. I'm involved in the company. It's something that's been on for 3 years in the making. This isn't something that has happened overnight. They spent tireless hours and months and years making sure that this system is perfected. We've run it through thousands and tens of thousands of fights to make sure that it's accurate. We've tested it multiple times, even with these current fighters. And so now it is ready to be debuted, and we have the utmost confidence, over 99% surety, that every single shot will be counted and everything that happened in that ring will be accounted for. It's a brilliant way to debut it because it is the most important fight we've had in boxing in 25 years.
Biggest fight this century. Thank you very much, Rahim.
Thank you.
Love
Always
you.
a pleasure to talk to you. It's not a big fight unless we're here. Radio Rahim in Riyadh for Undisputed. Let's go.
Let's do this, Rahim.
Ring of Fire!
My brother.